worked in the criminal justice system. I was altruistic and young when I started, and over a period of time, I got more and more cynical, and finally I got to a point where in my life I was doing the same reckless and addictive and even sometimes criminal behaviors as the people I was supervising on probation and parole. Here I was this tough guy sitting on my bed crying, reaching out, saying, God help me, I don't want to live like this anymore. Just a real calm came over me, and it was like, whoa.
My life used to be my business. Lord, this is your office, your business. I'm just managing it. I have been guided on everything.
You know, in the Bible they talk about the still small voice. It wasn't audible, but in my mind and in my heart, I felt the words, your path is cleared for you. And so then I did start doing work as a therapist.
Pray with clients. I pray with my staff. Sometimes we'll Bible study and it's an hour and a half. More time I spend than the Bible, my work life has gotten so much easier, and that's a hard one to explain.
I was at my back doctor. I had major back surgery, and I was at my back doctor, and there was an older gentleman sitting next to me, and he was in a wheelchair, and I heard ask him about his wheelchair. So I asked him about his wheelchair, and he was telling me all about it, and then I said, ask him if he knows Jesus Christ. So I'm like, hey, are you a believer in Jesus? He's like, well, I believe, but I've never accepted him. And I'm like, would you like to? And he's like, sure. So I led him in a sinner's prayer right there in the middle of the waiting area in front of everybody. I love everybody at this church. Everybody's been so nice. When you talk to people, they actually stop and talk to you. It's not just a hello, it's hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. What are you doing? How are you? And so I really enjoy that about the church.
This wasn't the first church I got guided to. This was the last church I got guided to, and I was pretty frustrated, and I knew immediately. The first sermon I went to was when the pastor from India came, and that prayer, I didn't know what he was saying. It was in a different language, and it was just so powerful.
When I come here, I feel the joy of it. Come here, and I'm expressive, and I'm, singing and dancing with the music. It's one of the reasons I'm looking forward to doing the Rooted starting Tuesday.
I walked in the sanctuary and I sat down. I got here early on purpose to pray. And when I raise my hand to worship, I shake from the Holy Spirit. And I started shaking. And I had tears in my eyes because it was like for the first time in a long time that I felt the presence of God. So that's how I basically came to New Life and knew that this was going to be my home. And that's why I stepped out and immersed myself into what I'm doing now.
And I immediately did the first steps. I immediately signed up for the coffee cart. Now I do the coffee cart, and I do children's services. And that all started from a Bible study from BSF, which is here Tuesday nights. And it's nice to have strong Christian women that are in my life that are really wanting to stay on their path and be close to God.